everybody, welcome back to another episode of Chanel's Reality. I'm Chanel, and this is my reality. What is happening with my hair? Okay, so today I'm going to make seafood pot pie. I don't know if you guys like seafood or if you've ever had it made for you. It's really delicious. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So in this skillet, I have one of those little chicken bouillon, I think that's what it's called. So one of these. I also have some andouille sausage. You can use whatever brand floats your boat. And then I have some potatoes. I was gonna buy a potato and cut it up and everything, but these are already flavored. So I'm just kind of like, I don't even do any of that. I have some pre-cut Trinity, the onion, the bell pepper, the celery. Let's see. I have some frozen, like peas and carrots. I have some bigger carrots because why not? Some thyme, and then cream of celery. This has good flavor in my opinion. Cream of chicken and herbs. And then this one, cream of shrimp. That's going to give you a lot of flavor. I also have butter and then some pepper jack cheese. It's weird trying to do it when you're facing the camera. It's weird. Now, normally I would buy lump crab meat, but they out of line for how much they charge for lump crab meat now. It's like literally $30 for like a little. So anyway, I ended up getting some lump crab meat, which it isn't lumpy. So next time I won't get that. And then I have some shrimp, lobster, and crawfish tails. I use Kerrygold butter, but feel free to use whatever, floats your boat. I just like it because it has a lot of flavor. And then I'm going to top it with cheddar bay biscuit. And then I also bought one of these pie crusts. They come two in a pack. Oh my God, did he take? Oh my God, did he leave the crust in the oven? Okay, Jesus. Oh, please, look. He forgot to get the crust out. He set a timer and then just didn't even get it out. I can't. Anyway, see how impromptu that was? I can't take it. All right. Anyways, so those are all of my ingredients aside from the seasoning. So like I said, I have my butter melted here. With some of this chicken bouillon. So first I'm going to saute the Holy Trinity. It's like I have kitchen shears and I don't know what people be doing with my damn kitchen shears. I feel like it's in the same spot that all the socks go to with the dryer and all the forks and knives go to. It's just like, really, y'all? Anyway. All right, so while I have this, I'm just gonna saute it on like medium high. You just want to kind of sweat them, and so they can take in all of this flavor that's coming its way. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my andouille sausage in here because that certainly is gonna give it flavor. gonna kick it up a notch, as Emerald Lagasse famously used to say all the time. Kick it up a notch. Happy Sunday to all of my peeps. I don't know why I'm so thirsty today. Okay, please hit that like button, guys, and subscribe to my channel. It's a free and easy way to support my channel, and I really would appreciate it. Okay. Oh, and then I have whipping cream. I'm just going to use a little bit of the whipping cream because of the cream of all of the things, right? And the time wakes everything up, but you don't want to put that, you don't want to leave the thyme in your pot pie, because you don't want to be eating thyme, do you? So we're just gonna put a few little twigs in here, and this is fresh thyme. But I think you can buy like I forget what it's called, it's like already kind of like dried. So one thing I wanted to say about the pie crust, you want to blind bake it for like 10 minutes, and then you can when you're ready, you can put the filling in there. The reason for that is you want it to kind of be sturdy, and I'm putting Cheddar Bay biscuits on the top, so you don't want the vegetables to like seep through. So if you were to just put it in there raw, it's probably going to be wet on the bottom, and that's not good eats. So while this is over here mixing and loving itself, let me show y'all. Let's see if I can show. Hopefully y'all can see that. Y'all can't see me, and I'm the prize. No, I'm playing, and that's okay. So we're going to add all of our fragrant spices, essentially. So I'm going to add a little bit of garlic, and season to taste. It's always good to taste your food as you go. A little bit paprika, not too much, but just put a little bit of paprika. Oh shit! I just said not too much and then took too much, but that's okay. It's all gonna work out. It's all gonna work together for our good. I love this guy. He's the truth. I'm telling y'all. That's why he's called the Spice King. He you know what? I usually put this on, well, you can put this on anything, honestly. It's gonna taste good. But I put it on like if you make some French fries or some chicken wings, it will wake up your whole life, your whole entire life. I have some Tony Sacharins, but again, you can use whatever floats your boat. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. See, this is the thing. I'm not in my house, and I know I've said this to you guys like 42,000 times, but it's weird when you're trying to make food in your home. I'm sorry, in someone else's home. It's just weird. I use a little bit of this. It's called seasoning. You see how it has C, like a play on words. Put some of that in here. And then I just always add extra Cajun to whatever I'm making. If I'm making like a gumbo or whatever, I just add extra Cajun. Just that flavor. Some blackened Zatarans. This is just going to build a flavor for you guys. And then I have some white pepper. A little bit of black pepper. Not that I need much, because I got all the other flavor in there. And then I love this Creole seasoning. So that should do it for the flavor, okay? Now we're going to stir this up. Hopefully y'all can see that. You don't want to overcook it because remember it's going to get cooked in the oven too. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and open my can of cream celery. So all these flavors can get together and love each other. Now you don't have to use the cream of celery, but I like the flavor that it brings. Whoa. Child, it's a lot going on. And then I'll put some cream of shrimp. You know, sometimes it's difficult to find cream of shrimp. Oh, Lordy, let me plug up my computer. It's about to die in the middle of my live. Oh, please. Thank God for. Shout out to God for letting me know, child. I'd have been standing here thinking, okay. All right. Anyway, so you just want to kind of mix this in. This cream of it's conditioned. Something is wrong with my words today, guys. I don't know what it is. Something is definitely wrong with my words. They're getting all mixed up and stuff. It's weird. So we're gonna let, like I said, we're gonna let all these ingredients get to know each other and be happy, you know, and enjoy their best life. This is a cream of shrimp. Are those supposed to be real shrimp that's in there? Sure. I don't know. We're gonna whisk this together. Make this get all happy together. I'm gonna just bring it up to like a simmer, and then we'll add the veggies, and then we'll add the seafood. Because the thing is with the seafood, if you overcook it, it will definitely. What is happening with my hair? If you overcook it, it will definitely be like soggy. I'm not soggy, mushy, and that's not good to eat. Who wants to eat mushy anything really? Not me. What's happening? My wig is not acting right today. It's not cooperating. I hope you guys are having a good Sunday. Let's see. What does this person say? Never had seafood. Pie. We'll have to try this. Hey, Bellicious 28. Yeah, absolutely. And then I forgot to add this pink Himalayan salt. But considering the fact that I use so many different seasonings already, I'm just going to put a little bit. You don't want to overwhelm it because with seasoning, you can't go back and get it. It's just, it is what it is. You'll have to add like water or something to kind of dilute it a little bit. But if you're cooking something that's supposed to be creamy, you don't want to have to add water. So, but you know, you just cook to your own taste. Everybody's different. We use real butter over here on Chanel's Reality. We use real butter. So I'm going to add this pepper jack cheese. And just watch this get happy. This cheese and this pot pie is about to be so bomb. My name alone been known to break up happy homes. I put the potatoes in my pot pie. And you guys feel free to not put potatoes in your pot pie. But these are pretty good. So I'm going to just add some of those. I'm gonna add a little bit of this heavy whipping cream, just a tiny bit. I don't know if I showed you guys. It's just heavy whipping cream. And you don't have to get a special one. They all, for the most part, are very similar. I had hand surgery and I can't open shit. Ugh, it hurts. Okay. Add a little bit of this. And you could use milk if you wanted to. So now I'm just going to go ahead and add some of these carrots. I'll put some of these carrots in this here pot. You know, the thing is, I love all seafood. Well, no, I take that back. I was going to say I love all seafood, but I really mostly love shrimp, crawfish, crab. You know, this is the thing with the crab that bothers my soul. Is for some reason, carrot down, the carrot fell on the floor. For some reason, I just lost my train of thought. It'll come back to me. But anyways, so add some little carrots. And then I'm going to add this. It's just like a little carrot and peas. All of this stuff is optional. Like I've seen people on the internet use the ones that have like green beans and or asparagus and stuff like that. All right, so back to the food. Let's see, did someone? Hey, Young Drip King, how are you? He always supports me. Always, I love him. Hey, Chanel's Reality, I love it. Nice. Chanel's Reality, I'm doing good now. Happy to hear. Happy to hear. Okay, so y'all can see that I added the green peas and the cheese because the cheese is cheesing. The cheese is cheesing, bro. All right. So this is almost done. Take a picture for my so I can post it on the gram. Where is my phone? Where do I always lose my phone? Don't need that saying. Always. Oh, there it is. Oh shit. See, somebody in here trying to derail me. This is my base to my seafood pot pie. You only could be in here and smell it. Okay, so my whisk decided to go overboard, so now I'm going to get another whisk. So here we go. I'm going to turn this all the way down and we're going to go ahead and add our seafood to this. You see how it's like it's cheesy? And that pepper jack cheese, it gives it a really good flavor. I was trying to get this thyme out of here. Let's see. Yay. Remember, always cook your seafood last. because it will overcook. And then you spend all your time making this feast only to not be able to enjoy it because the seafood's overcooked. So, you know, the other reason I hate this stove, if I'm being honest, is because like it doesn't heat evenly. So if I have it on high and I decide, okay, well I need to turn it down, it doesn't turn down like it should. It's just irritating, but whatever. There's something else. Oh, I was gonna add some more of this cheese, just a tad bit. You want to preheat your oven to. Well, I'll just add it. No, I'm not gonna go over there. Preheat your oven to 375. And you're gonna bake this for about 35, 45 minutes. My name alone been known to break up happy homes. That's what Trick Daddy said, y'all. It wasn't me. Sure wasn't. Nope. Shout out to Trick Daddy. He I think he's suffering from lupus, which is not the best. So I have lobster, shrimp, and crawfish. Looks good, right? All right. Looks good. Let me take a picture. Seafood pot pie, honey. Yep. Shrimp, lobster, and crawfish. Oh, and crab meat. I'm going to add the crab meat soon. Okay. All right, let me focus. Let me focus. A little more potato. All right. So like I said, you don't want this to cook through. So you're just literally going to have it on here like a minute because you're going to bake it in the oven. So you really almost don't even have to do this part. But, and then for me, I don't need any more additional seasoning because of how much seasoning I've already added to the pot pie. So we're going to go ahead and turn that off and grab our pan. So the hard part is done at this point. What is happening? Listen, this wig is giving me the blues, honey. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and, like I said, I pre-baked, or what do they call it? I can't think of the word. Anyway, it's basically you're kind of like heating it up first so that the base of the pie or whatever it is you're making, if you're making it and the filling is fruit or something that has water like base, like a vegetable, which we clearly have, then you want to blind bake it. That's what it is, so that the crust is sturdy for you. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to yummy. That is yummy.com. Although I think I'm gonna put a little more milk. I'm gonna put a little bit of milk in here because it's very flavorful. But I don't want it to be overly flavored or taste salty. So where's my little spoon I had? Oh, okay, here we go. Hopefully this pot that I bought is it's big enough. Cause I always be overdoing it. I be like, oh, I'm gonna make a small pot or a small pan of lasagna. It never works out. Not ever. No matter what I do, it's always over. Always over. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put my kitchen timer on now because I'll forget and then I'll be like, oh shit. I don't know if y'all could see it, but I'm gonna do it this way. Look at all that goodness going into that pan. Listen. It's the truth. You know what it is? You know what it is? It's the truth.com. So y'all see how good that looks? I'm telling y'all, I bet y'all like, man, let me drop by, honey. Because this right here is going to be so good. You just want to make it even. So for the top, I already prepared the Red Lobster Sugar Bay biscuit. So this. I don't know if I can fit this. So I already mixed it up beforehand. And so now I'm just going to put this on top of the pot pie. Right? And it could be a bit sticky. So just be patient with it because you're going to have to move it around. My trick for sticky things, like, you know how like you're making Rice Krispie treats and it's like you got marshmallow on your hand, you can't get it off, that type of thing. So what I always do is I use, so you know you're going to use butter in Rice Krispie treats. So that butter packet that your butter came in. So let me show you. Where is my butter? Okay. So I use this, and it's weird because it's kind of like I don't know, like parchment paper. But I say that because it's easier to move things around. It makes life easy. Or I won't say easy, but easier. Child, I'm trying to get this spread out. I don't know if I'm going to have enough of this spread out around here, child. Listen. These Cheddar Bay biscuits, honey. Anybody used to go to Red Lobster just to get the Cheddar Bay biscuit? It's like, whatever we do, we got to get these Cheddar Bay biscuits, child. And if you don't evenly coat it, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. What y'all think about this presidency? And Donald Trump with his crazy self. I don't know why they put this man. Why would y'all vote for this terrorist? Well, I probably shouldn't say he's a terrorist, but when you are fraternizing with the enemy, i.e., Russia, I don't know what else to call you, really. Talking about Putin is a fine guy. He don't see a reason why Putin wouldn't tell him the truth. It's like, are you serious? But yeah, he's serious. And the people that follow him are so serious. Okay? Super serious. And when you're baking this, because clearly I always put too much, no matter what I do, it's always a little bit too much. But I'm going to make it work. We're going to make something shake, okay? Understand? Shout out to my cousin Jerry. He's he has a catering business called Schnazzy's Catering. Shout out to his wife. They be over there cooking, sis, like getting their whole life cooking. And I love to see it. I love to see it. All right. So this is what it looks like. These are the cheddar baked biscuits on top. You could also, like I said, you could also have used the second one of these for the top. But I just use it for the bottom. Let me take one more photo. Sometimes I'm goody. Right now I'm naughty. Anybody going to a Super Bowl party? We used to have Super Bowl parties every year. Oh, and then I was gonna say, when you bake this, because it could boil over, you don't want that. So you might want to put it on one of these baking dishes. Plus, it'll help you get it out easily. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the oven. My name alone is known to break up happy homes. All right, into the oven we go. Okay, so my timer's at 34. I'm gonna I feel like, I use whatever the temperature is and whatever the recommended time is, but I always feel like I forgot the crab. How am I gonna do crab meat now? Oh my god, I can't. Whatever. See, that just sidetracked me. Damn it. Oh, so like, they give you recommended baking times or cook times. And the problem with that is, the reason I say, I just kind of like, I'll put it somewhere near. So if it says bake something for 10 minutes, I'll time it for 8 minutes. Because every stove is different. And like I said, this is in my house. I'm in an Airbnb. So my gas stove cooks very evenly. So it could differ based on how old your stove is, that type of thing. So I set my timer for 40 minutes. It only has 33 minutes left. So in 33 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and pull it on out. Let it rest, take some photos, and then I will upload this video with the final product. So thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Chanel's Reality. I'm Chanel, and this is my reality. Hold on. What did he say? He said, I've been against him since 2016, right? I don't understand these people. Like, I was on a live the other day, and, some of the people on the live, they either voted for Trump or understand, quote unquote, or they claim they can compartmentalize what he's doing. But this is my problem. My problem is this. I just feel like if you've been accused by not one, not two, not 10, but 20 plus women have accused you of sexual assault. I don't know how you could compartmentalize that simply because he's going to give you a tax break. You know what I'm saying? What message are you sending to the victims? That you just don't give a shit and you don't matter. And it just irritates my soul because people will make so many excuses for this or that. And then it's just like dumb. So anyways, when I was on that panel, I was like, so this is the type of stuff that I like to do because it kind of catches people off guard. But I said to myself, I said to the people on the panel, I was like, so let's just say you don't have Donald Trump's name associated with the new hire, but the new hire has a lot of shady, racist, misogynistic behavior, right? Has 20 plus women accusing him of sexual assault. He likes to, say racist shit like Mexicans are all, what do you say, all rapists and all this. It's just problematic on every level. So I suggested to them, I said, so let's say take his name off of it, but your HR department calls you to the office and says, here are all of the things. They wrote it on a board, all of the issues, like all of the things that this new hire has been associated with or has done or accused of. So like the things that I said, sexual assault, rape, bad business dealings, racist and misogynistic comments. But we just list out all of the things that's problematic about this man. Would y'all be cool? Would y'all tell HR? Yeah, y'all should still hire him. Just give him a chance. He needs to get in there. And, we're going to just wait and see. And people were just kind of like, well, and they can't really get around it because I'm right. At the end of the day, you should not be able to compartmentalize sexual assault because you want to get a tax break or because you like this particular celebrity. That's just not that's not good for humanity. How do you compromise your integrity, your dignity? How do you do that? Because you got a tax break? Or because you're racist and he's racist too? So it's just kind of like, well, I'm going to side with him because he has the same shared values. It's ludicrous. But they kind of like talked about it and talked around it. And so I gave them another example. I was like, okay, so let's just take the job thing out of there. Because first, before I said that, I was like, I was saying basically like people in general don't even have to have all of the things that's wrong with Donald Trump listed on that board I was telling you about. People will want to get you fired or don't want you to work there simply because you don't come to work on time. You don't do, your fair share of the work. You get treated better than them, whatever it is. People want they want you gone over those little things, right? So imagine if they gave you this laundry list of unethical, misogynistic, sexist, whatever, at fill in the blank. And what do you say to that? You can't say anything because I'm right. Because we all have been to a job where we know somebody isn't pulling their weight. They don't come to work on time. They call off all the time, whatever it is, right? So if we can get mad and frustrated with those people with that type of behavior, right? Help me understand how y'all can't get mad and angry and want this man, see him as unfit for that office with his background. I can promise you being accused of SA and, rape and racism and all of those things are way more problematic and damaging to a company than someone coming into work late. Right? But they couldn't let me win. They couldn't let me have it. They were, to me, woefully being obtuse, which is basically acting like you don't understand or you just don't understand. You know, I can't understand it. So then they were just, because they kept acting like, well, what do you mean? And you're changing the goalpost or whatever. So I was like, all right, so we're going to use all of his background again. We're going to say they sent out a newsletter, right, in your neighborhood, and they said, this man is going to be your child's, 7th grade math teacher, whatever. But they list all of the things that he's been accused of. Are you going to be cool with him teaching your 7th grader? You're not. You're not. And I know that you're not, right? So this idea that for whatever reason, when it's on such a lower level of being problematic, like I said, with, someone not coming to work on time and it's irritating and you don't think they should be there, you want them fired for that little bit, but you don't care about all of the egregious things this man has been accused of. You can overlook that. It's bananas to me, but people, sometimes we live in a society. Hang on 1 second, guys. Where's my water? Sorry, guys, I had to get some water. I'm a little thirsty, a little parched around these parts. Okay. All right. Maybe I'll sit with this. Okay. No, I forgot my train of thought. But it's just interesting to me how people can put aside someone's moral compass just because you like another part of them, right? I can get on board with, people that want to have a tax break, or, people who their major issue is finding work, or healthcare, things like that. I could understand, because all of those things, if they are done the right way, help the greater good, right? But I just don't understand how they don't understand. It's mind blowing to me, but that's the way people are. So what are you gonna do? Right. He says, so Young Riaz, aka Drip King, says, I remember his Muslim comments too. Yeah. And that whole rant that people went on for years about Barack Obama, President Barack Obama being Muslim, like as if being Muslim can disqualify you from being the president. There's something called separation of church and state. So it really wouldn't matter if what your religion is. You're supposed to be able to separate them. Let's see. Mr. Drip King says, wow. He says, Janelle's reality. I literally felt sorry for Muslims in America under his first term, and I am overseas. Oh, you're a Muslim too? Okay. And then someone else, Coach Ferg. Oh, hey, Coach Ferg. I love him. He's on Mr. Drip. I call him Mr. Drip. He's on the Drip Show. Go like all his buttons. Go subscribe, like, hit the notification buttons, all the buttons to support him, because I love going on their channel. They're so much fun. But Coach Ferg says, we also voted for a man who created laws to send millions of law offender bros to jail for years, destroying families and generations. I want all Americans to have the first right of refusal to jobs. I'm not quite sure everything what you mean by this, Mr. Coach Ferg. So let me just say this. I fully understand that no one's perfect, right? So no matter what you do, who you vote for, or who becomes president or mayor or governor or whatever it is, fill in the blank, there's going to be a subset of people who are going to find fault in that person. It just is what it is, and then there's going to be people who love that person and just want them to continue on and stay, right? So that part I can get with. It's the illegal things that bother me, right? Because listen, politicians are who they are. Sorry, that's my dog. They are who they are, right? So it's unfortunate, but listen, I expect a sinner to sin. I expect a politician to lie. I know this is like generalizing people, but I'm just saying, I expect certain behaviors from certain groups of people because you have to compromise no matter what happens. I remember years ago when I was in college, I was like, I'm going to run for, what did I say I was going to do? Did I say I was going to? Oh, I said I was going to run for senator. I was going to be a senator in Texas, right? I remember saying that in college in like 2002. Okay. And I remember talking to my husband about it, and God bless his soul, but he was just kind of like, because he's a realist and he's very intelligent. That's just such a turn on to me. But anyway, sidebar. And I remember talking to him about it. And he was like, 100%, I know you could do the job. 100%, I know that you would get elected. The problem is you have integrity. And if you're going to be in the politician's game, you're going to have to give them something, which is going to force you to, in some way, on one day, compromise your integrity. And I was like, yeah, you know what? He's absolutely right. There would be some situations where I couldn't rock with it. You know what I'm saying? And because I believe, political circles are so savage, and there's so many things that are broken with all of our systems. It doesn't matter if it's the criminal justice system, the education system, the financial systems, on and on and on. They're, I always liken it to like a centipede with all these legs, right? And some of them don't work. They're broken. But we can't go back and create every system, obviously. So that would take forever. But I do think we just have to be careful who we're putting in office, especially when that person has shown you who they are, But some people, they love them some Donald Trump, honey. Love him. And if I'm going to be completely transparent, when he was on the Celebrity Apprentice, loved him because I believe that he was an actual billionaire and, worked his way to the top because that was what they presented to us. So I liked him, doing the whole, you're fired. But then when I had to start pulling back the layers of who he was, who he actually is, all of the things that I didn't know about, like not allowing brown people or black people to, rent, I don't know, condos or renting his buildings and things like that. That's so racist. What he talked about with the Central Park 5, just basically saying that these young men deserve to still be in jail when they've been exonerated, and he still won't take it back. You know what I'm saying? And then all of the other things that I already named, I can't get with it. But that's the society that we live in. And, you just have to kind of, it's bad. I did not even want to vote this year, but my ancestors fought, died, were beaten, within an inch of their life, just because they were trying to go vote. So if they could endure that, then how dare I not vote? You know what I mean? But because honestly, I don't know much about Kamala Harris, but I do see people online they were raking her over the coals. But I really didn't even, honestly, I kind of checked out this year or last year actually with the election and stuff because I already know it's going to irritate my soul. It just is. So it's almost like I just don't even want to have the conversation because people are going to say some dumb shit and it's going to irritate me. And then we're going to be in this whole, back and forth, and I just can't, So, but I went ahead and voted anyway because it's what I have to do simply because, who fought for us to be able to have rights? Young Rizza says, yes. I don't know what you're saying yes to. Biden created laws to send bros to jail. Crack era adults suffer. Yeah. So Biden, obviously, so look, let me back up. Like I said before, nobody's perfect and everybody's going to have something that they're going to pull out of the closet. But I didn't like Biden this was when President Barack Obama was in office or was getting ready to be in office. Because, they'll talk about who their vice president running mate is or whatever, right? Knew nothing of Biden. And then when I started doing research on him, and this is all alleged because I don't know it to be 100% factual, but it's my understanding that when he was a senator, he did a whole bunch of nefarious shit, racist shit. If I remember correctly, I don't know if y'all remember the one lady. Oh, I forget her name. I think it's Anita something. I can't think of her name, but she was a black lady, and she accused this guy who is, I don't know if he's still a Supreme Court justice, but he was a black guy. That's all I know. And she accused him of either sexual assault or sexual harassment. I think it was sexual harassment. And she had to come before the Senate and all that Congress. And they roasted this lady within an inch of her life. And Joe Biden was a part of that. So I had a problem with him. Once after I saw that, I was just like, I have a problem with this man. But he was Barack Obama's, President Barack Obama's choice. So it is what it is. That being said, the reason I can give Joe Biden a little bit of grace is because if you start out being a terrible human being and doing things wrong, but you grow from it, you learn from it, and you change your behavior, then I can rock with you. I'm probably not going to still be your friend because some of the shit you've already said and done, right? But forgiveness can happen, right? And then I can move forward, because who wants to be, tied down to something they did or practices from 30 years ago? I still want to hold you accountable. I'm still not going to let you off, but we have to give people the opportunity to move forward with their lives. So that's kind of how I look at him. And I know a lot of people have said that he's done, or maybe his son, I think it's his son, has supposedly done all kinds of dirty deals or some sketchy stuff. So, and I think Biden pardoned his brother. I mean, not his brother, his son or his family. And then didn't Trump do the same thing? I can't remember if he did, because I don't be paying attention to him. He's just so annoying. Oh, he says, Coach, wow. Coach Ferg says, would you change your views if lobbyists offered you millions of dollars to change laws? No, I wouldn't. Because that's why I said, I have integrity. Why my computer is going to die. So I'm probably going to have to get out here soon. So if the stream ends, it's just because it's not my fault. Let me see if I can get my charger. Hold, please. Why is my computer perpetually dying all the damn time? Yay. Okay. Is it charging? I can't tell. Where is the little charger? Okay. Looks like it is. Okay. All right. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. So would you change your views if lobbyists offered you millions of dollars to change? No, I couldn't. Because listen, that's why I couldn't run for senator, because I know that there are certain things that I'm not going to be able to compromise on. I have to listen. You cannot put a price on being able to live with yourself. You know what I mean? And listen, there's a place in the world for people who can't do that. Politics is one of them. There are certain things in life where I just have to take a step back. So remember when we had the whole C-19 situation, and back then I was a program manager at 5 programs that I ran, and most of our people had, intellectual disabilities and total care people, which means they can't really do anything for themselves. Just a whole vulnerable population is my point. And I was a program manager with lots of staff, right? And I never wanted to have any type of vaccination whatsoever. I was like, I'm against it. I don't want to. But I had to take myself out of it and say, what if I bring this C-19 to either my staff or my the individuals that are on my caseload, and they end up getting sick and passing away? And possibly I wouldn't have gotten it or whatever the case may be. At least if I got the vaccine, I could say at least I did my part. So I'm saying that to say sometimes there are times in life where it's like you have to look at the greater good and say, I'm going to compromise my personal belief about something to help the greater good. But that was because I was protecting under other individuals. It wasn't about self. It was about these people that are in my care. Not only the individuals that are in my care, but the staff. So it changed my perspective regarding lobbyists and all those special interest groups. And listen, elections can be bought. Let's just call it what it is. It could certainly be bought. I don't think I can be. You never know until you're in that situation, but I don't see how I would be able to. So Coach Ferg says Democrats kept our ancestors subjugated to low levels of opportunities. Past slavery, we were Republicans. Yeah, I mean, post-slavery, we were Republicans, right? Because if you think about where the Republican Party was years ago, the reason why you hear people say, "Oh, they were a family-oriented, whatever party," is because they were for a very long time. But I think that, and now it's switched to like the Democrats are more of what the Republican Party used to represent, family values and all that kind of stuff, right? And I think most people have a little bit of a Republican in them, right? Because you think fiscally about certain things, right? Like the right to have, to buy property and, just different things. It's like I want laws in place, or maybe I want some restrictions to be removed. But I think most of us have a little bit of Republican in us. The problem that I think Democrats have, or independents, or whomever have with the Republicans, is because they seem to have one agenda at all times, and it's protecting the wealthy, or they have some sort of incentivized whatever it is to the sugar people or to the big pharma or whoever it is they'll be holding to. And so that's problematic for people like me. You know what I mean? I'm gonna just need you to have your integrity intact, and they're not all gonna have their integrity intact. Young Riza, aka, says, "Good point, Coach Ferg." Drip King says, "Chanel's reality, neither side convinced me." Yeah, I wasn't. Listen, that's why I say I checked out. I was just like, I cannot. Anyway, he says, "Chanel's reality, my long-term dream is to move to America." Really? Or Dubai? Go to Dubai. My people are in Dubai. I love Dubai. It's wonderful. Someday, because I believe that there is more opportunities for me out there, and I don't want to stay in the UK forever. I get it. I support that message, but you just gotta have money to live in Dubai. Just keep that in mind. It's a very, very expensive place to visit. Young Reza says, "I don't see myself doing politics because I am autistic and have anxiety. Not saying it's not possible. I just feel like it's best for that I don't." Yeah. Listen, we all should play to our strengths and, work on our weaknesses. Hey, Larger Curves. Hey, boo. Hey. Y'all go over to Larger Curves and support her channel. Hit all her buttons. Love her. Love her. And then what's the last comment? And then Young Reza says, "True." So yeah, there's lots wrong with our society, and we have a whole bunch of people that have backwards thinking. Because the other thing that Trump did, and this is why I say I have to just kind of just tune out, is because didn't he write some executive order that said like two things? One, it was like you no longer have the birthright, like you're born here, so you're automatically a citizen. I think he signed that like on an executive order. I feel like a judge pulled back, because I don't think Donald Trump understands that there's a thing called checks and balances in our system, and it's there for a reason, so that you don't have dictators and whatever. Anyways, so that was one thing he did. And then the January 6th, what I call domestic terrorism, right? Because it's people in your own country terrorizing other people. It's crazy. Specifically, elected officials. So you going around and you pardoning all these people, all that does is embolden them to do it again or to do something worse. And it's just like, I cannot. And so I don't understand again how people put all of that to the side, all of the shit that he's accused of, um, that we've seen him do that's foul and just treasonous and wrong and just it's beyond. And they still excuse away. They're able to compartmentalize it, and I'm just like, I guess I can't compartmentalize things like that. Mm-mm. Not when it's going to hurt the greater good. There are certain things I can compromise on, that are wrong with our country or with the world. But when you're putting someone in charge of your whole entire country and they're in charge of your military, because that's really what the president's in charge of, military, foreign, whatever, they don't really affect locally what happens in your city or your state. They can't, sign into law Congress's, new laws or whatever it is, legislation is what I was looking at. They can do that, but for the most part, the president's job is to, talk to foreign leaders, kiss babies, and if we ever have to go to war with someone, he has the ability to command the army or the military to do things like that. So they don't really, to me, have a whole lot of power, but they're the symbol, or the office of the presidency is the symbol that the rest of the world looks at. Because although America has a whole lot of issues and, we listen, we're not perfect. I would just say it like that. But the world views us as a superpower, and they can't mess with us regarding our military. That's, I think, our best asset is the fact that the military is playing no games with nobody that's trying us. So I support the military. But there are all kinds of things that, are problematic in our country, as it relates to, politics. But it is a game. It is a game of cat and mouse. And, the worst part of it is it's all about money. It is. You can't run for president as a poor person. You can't run for president as a middle class person. It's extremely expensive to do it, right? And yeah, you'll have the special interest groups or the lobbyists, hop on and help you, if they really like you and want you to be president or whatever it is that you're trying to get elected to be, then you can raise the money and things like that. But most politicians are already in their own life successful. A lot of them are like attorneys or business owners and things like that, because you're not always in session, so to speak. I think it's like every 2 years or something like that. Don't quote me on that. But the reason that they can, go and be wherever it is, writing policies or, making speeches and doing all kinds of other stuff it's because they have a business or they have some sort of significant income. Because the average person wouldn't be able to do that and be like, oh, I'm gonna just take 6 months out of the year off so I can go be a senator or a congressman. You can't do that, most people. And because of that, a lot of people want to push their own agenda. And the way that I feel like successful ones do it is, so say there's like some sort of controversial, whatever that someone's running on when they're wanting to be elected, and they say, oh, I'm going to do X, right? And they're saying that because Coca-Cola or who else? American Airlines. I'm trying to think of another one, Halliburton, Lockheed, just big, huge conglomerate companies, right? They gave me $10 million or $3 million to help me with my campaign. So now I'm beholden to them. So I have to do something. And even though it's likely that they won't get anything pushed through or very little pushed through that they've promised either the constituents, the American public that voted for them, and or the lobbyists and all the special interest groups and these big organizations that donate enormous amounts of money. What happens is if you are a good politician and you get into office, all you have to do is say, okay, I'm going to say that this is what we're doing. So if you take Trump, for example, one of the things that I guess he was telling his, oh my God, his constituents, I'll say it like that. was that he was going to, oh God, what was it that he kept saying he was going to do? Oh, with the birth thing, where it's like, oh, well, if you were born here, you don't automatically get the birthright of being an American. And he told them, because that it's a dog whistle to all of the people who feel like, oh, the Mexicans or oh, the foreigners or oh, these people that come in and they taking our jobs and blah blah blah. So it plays right into his hand of, look, I'm going to get these people out of our country and we're going to make our border strong and all that kind of stuff, right? I don't even want to give him this much credit, but I'm going to assume people that work in the White House have advised him that this shit is not going to happen, right? Like, remember when he was like, I'm going to build a wall in Mexico, I'm going to make Mexico pay for it. Yeah, that didn't work out. But my point is, all that president would have to do is say, yeah, give me your $10 million to help me get elected, and then I'm going to write an executive order for this to be put into law, right? For it to be enacted. But like I said, we have a judicial system, branch of the government, that says, nah, you can't just do what the fuck you want, period. I don't care who you are, president or not. So how that works for someone like a Donald Trump is, when he wants to go get money from these people in the future, he can say, look, I did write the executive order. I don't have any control over Congress. So I wrote the executive order to do this, and do this, but they vetoed it, or whatever the term is. So I wasn't able to get it pushed through. But at the end of the day, I did what I said I was going to do. Is that my food already? Hold on, guys. I got my shrimp. No, not shrimp. What did I make? Oh, God. What did I make? Oh, I made pot pie. Seafood pot pie. Let me go check it. Oh, please. That was quick. Ooh-wee. It's good, though. Yeah, my pot pie is done. So let me show y'all what it looked like. I made a seafood pot pie. Looks good. So it has shrimp, lobster, crawfish. I forgot to add the crab meat. So let me take this off. All right. So look. Check this out. Does that not look great? It's all bubbly and warm and gooey. Too bad y'all don't have smell-o-vision. You want to look at my my seafood pot pie?
You said what?
I said, you want to take a look at my seafood pot pie?
Wow.
Looks good, right?
It looks incredible. Damn.
You mad because you already ate?
Well, I ate, but I wish my mom could come by.
And have some. She's allergic to shrimp, isn't she? Or shellfish. She can't even have it.
Yeah,
She knows she can eat 3.
Something.
She has a cutoff of 3 shrimp.
Can you take a picture and send that to her?
Yeah. I'll send her the video too.
Yeah, send that to her because she was one. You know, Are you recording?
I'm on a live,
Oh.
so don't say anything you shouldn't say. So let me finish up with the live, and then. Oh, did I take a video?
Get some ice real quick.
I did. Yeah, go ahead and get your ice. Get your life. It's life. All right, guys. As I was saying, we got sidetracked. Let me see, what is the chat saying? Young Riza says the cheapest area in Dubai is around. I don't know. Excuse my husband getting ice. He says, I got my UK citizenship from my father. Okay. Who's British born Pakistani, and his parents are originally from Pakistan. Cool beans. Young Riza says in the UK, it's 5 years to become a citizen and 6 months and 6 months to apply for. Interesting. Coach Ferg is back at it. He said, "What's wrong with the U.S.? We can't find our guy girl to place in positions to change laws for our improvement. Will you take that stance, young, educated, melanated?" That's funny. I'm very melanated. All right. That's funny. Shout out to Coach Ferg. He's funny. Young Drip King says, or Young Reza Drip King, he says Saudi Arabia does not give citizenship to foreigners. Only way to obtain it is to be born from Saudi parents. Interesting. Or marry a Saudi citizen, and foreigners get residential visas. Yeah, and then too, let me just be clear. People in our country, I feel like a lot of times will be like, the Mexicans are coming over the border and they're taking all of our jobs and this and the third. And I'm like, first of all, most people that immigrate to the United States do so on a plane. Go look at the statistics. That's how they get here, most of them. And guess what? They're not Spanish. They're not. They're from overseas somewhere. Stop. Like they get here on a plane, a work visa or whatever, and then they just don't leave. So that's how most of the people get here. Not this BS that the politicians want to tell us about. Oh, they're all just infesting our borders. And listen, I'm not saying that there aren't issues at the border, because there definitely are. But I don't like the scare tactics that people try to use, because let me be clear. Me and my friend, we went to Cancun a few years ago, and you watch 2020 and you're like, oh, these two people came up missing in Mexico because someone put something in their drink, so on and so forth, right? Which can happen, and you should protect yourself and make sure you have your eyes on your drink at all times, because people can do stuff like that and just come up missing, right? So certainly you want to do that, but I hate it when people attach some crime with a whole population of people. It's not fair. It doesn't allow for any individuality, and not only a group of people, but a whole entire country. So it could scare you, when you see these types of things. But like I said, when we went to Cancun, listen, our hotel was right there on the beach. Had a fabulous time. Was not scared the whole entire time. Didn't fear for my life in any capacity. Right? Just like America, or anywhere on planet Earth, there's going to be crime. There are going to be people who are violent and don't give a shit about another person's life. They will snuff it out with quickness over nothing. So obviously, and then people are like, oh, well, there's so much gangs and murders and all this kind of stuff. And that's true. But go into your own country, America, and look at it. Because I promise you, when we went to Disney World probably about 8 years ago in Florida, well, wherever I go on YouTube and I Google do's and don'ts of whatever country, right? But let's be clear. I always do my research. And right when I was doing the research on Florida, where we were going to stay, there was this town or city called Kissimmee, I think is how you pronounce it. And then I went online and I'm like Googling what's, whatever's good and bad, whatever for Kissimmee. And I also Googled the Merck rate for, the United States. And how come Florida was on there 5 times of like one of the most crime-ridden, murking people say in the country? Right? So it's like people want to sit up and say, oh, well, this is happening and that's those people. No, it's happening right here in these good United States of America. And that's not to say to be foolish and go to another country and just, do whatever you want and be foolish and not adhere to these people's practices or whatever their laws are. That would be foolish. But a lot of people complain about, oh, they're like, because here's the thing. This is what irritates me, because they're like the illegal aliens or the foreigners, and they always want to make it about them being Spanish and from Mexico. But I can tell you, there's a whole bunch of Canadians in this country. Stop it. And no one cares. That they're never like, oh, why are we letting these illegal Canadians come in? It's just like, shut up. People always want to say that Spanish people or the immigrants are, taking away their jobs. And I'm just like, miss me with that, because you don't want that damn job. Stop it. Like, you don't want that job. You don't want to. And shout out to all the Mexicans and Spanish people, Latinos or whatever that come here and work hard and aren't criminals, right? Tons of them do it. Um, and so many of them get a bad rap for it. But it's just kind of like, if they come to this country and they're willing to do, you know, triple the work for less than half of what we would be paying an American to do it with insurance and all that kind of stuff, that means they're probably going to be in low paying jobs that people don't traditionally want, like hotel staff, right? Cleaning up behind other people, working in the linen department of the hospital in the basement, cutting your grass, doing construction. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like, miss me with that. You came in here to Workforce Solutions and sat with me as your employment counselor, and you really think the reason that you didn't get hired is because the Mexicans took your job? Stop. And let's just say that was true. Let's say hypothetically it was true that the Mexicans or whoever was taking everybody's job. If you're upset with your life and you don't like the way that your life is, you know, the trajectory of your life, you don't like it, change it. Do something else with your life. Let's be clear. I remember it was years ago, but I was working as a program manager, and I was like, I don't make enough money. I like 5-star hotels and room service, okay? And all of the Chanel and the Louis Vuitton and the Prada, she likes those types of things, right? But I, more than anything, am a good person in terms of like, I want to see the least of us win. So I've always been a social worker helping people who are in a difficult time in their life, right? But I'm like, this ain't paying what I need to be making for the lifestyle that I want, right? So guess what I did? I made a plan. My plan was, okay, I'm gonna take my ass back to school, I'll get a second master's degree and get my therapy license. And initially it was like, oh, it's gonna take forever. You know, I'm already working, I already have regular responsibilities. It's like, how can I fit this into my life? But at the end of the day, for me at least, the only way I can get to where I'm trying to go, the only way I can get accomplished my goal is to make a smart plan. And SMART is an acronym. I think it's like specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. So going to college would fit right into there, right? So I went to college, and yes, it was hard, and I had a lot of sleepless nights, and on and on and on. But I changed my life, and now I call the shots. It hits different when you have expertise or you have experience or you have education, but when certain industries require you to have a license, like you have to be a license to be a social worker, to say you're a social worker, you have to be licensed to be an electrician, you have to be licensed to be a medical doctor, a nurse, all of these things, then that interview changes. They seek you out, you know, and they want you on their team. So I decided to do that for myself. Everybody isn't going to be able to do that, and I get it. But don't get mad at other people because they're willing to do what you're not. You know, let me grab the I need to get my charger 1 second. Okay, sorry guys. But yeah, why are you mad? Because listen, at the end of the day, I don't want to be someone cleaning up after other people. I don't want to be a dishwasher. I don't want to work hard for the rest of my life. With my educational choices, I can be employed for the remainder of my life on me, not because someone else gave me a job. And everybody isn't going to be that way. Everybody isn't going to have their own, you know, medical practice or have their own therapy practice and things like that. Not everybody can do that. And that's why I'm saying we need people for every category. You know, but people get caught up in race and all of that. And I'm like, the thing that irritates me is I'm like, y'all don't realize, but y'all brown and they see y'all the same. They see y'all the same as us. Some people, not all people. Let's see. Coach Ferg says they come take resources. I'm gonna put Coach Ferg on my chat. No way. Coach Ferg says they come take resources from poor Black people, then throw it in our face. Who threw it in your face, Coach? Send them back. Send them back. Young people go to work or shut up. Yeah. Listen, I'm not knocking people because they were living in probably well below poverty level in another country and made their way here and are contributing to our society. It just is what it is. Are they all great? No. But let's be clear, all of the Americans that sit in this United States of America are not great either. Okay? They're doing some of the same exact things, if not worse, that we want to accuse the foreigners of. So, I mean, I get it. I understand what Coach Ferg is getting at because, you know, if there's only so many jobs for your type of experience or your education level or whatever it is, and if those jobs are lower hanging jobs, like, you know, being a janitor or, you know what I'm saying, working in fast food or Target or something like that, where they're not going to pay you $75,000 a year or living wage, depending on where you're living, just saying. And so I could see how people may view it that way. But I'm a person who feels like I'm not going to complain about what I don't have if I'm not willing to go out there and get it. Period. So I can't be mad about not being able to buy a certain home or a certain car or send my kids to, you know, a certain school, whatever it is, fill in the blank, if I'm not willing to go out there and sacrifice. And that's what I was saying earlier about me going back and, you know, getting a second master's degree and all that. It's the sacrifice, right? I'm sacrificing my time, my peace, my all kinds of things, family time, all of that, because it's like, I got to study. I got to write a paper. I got to do research. Thank God for my husband because he's very supportive, and, you know, not everybody has that type of support. But my point is, it wasn't easy, but you got to go out there and get it. As long as you're sitting around thinking, well, this person is taking advantage and I can't have, and it's just kind of like you got to get out of that mindset. Not saying part of that isn't true. Sure, there are people out here, you know, right in front of the Home Depot, right? They trying to get on, you know, to go help someone do construction, but they paying them people $3 an hour. You want to go work for $3 an hour? You don't, because you're American and we're spoiled. And I know I'm spoiled. So whatever. But my point is, you're only competing with yourself in your own greatness. So focus more on how you can make yourself better rather than how someone else is making your path or your journey more difficult. That's just my opinion about it. Mr. Ferg, I'm Mr. Ferg Young, RZA, aka Jeff King, says true. And then Coach says, so we can't add to the madness. We can't go there and work. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Coach. I just think it's very nuanced. I do think that. And I'm of two minds with this because, to Coach Ferg's point, I don't know where everybody is in the world, but here in Houston, there's this donut shop. It's like a chain donut called Shipley's, right? And there are other places like that too. But my point is this. What I've seen happen over the years is that Spanish people, I'm just telling you what I physically see with my eyes, they go and they get a job at, let's just say, the Shipley's, because this is what I've seen happen progressively over the years. And they get in that role and then they bring their other people in. And before you know it, maybe like 3 years in, 5 years in, the first Spanish person that's in that role, they get a promotion. And now they're, you know, the assistant manager or whatever. And so what's going to happen is, just like with anybody else, what's going to happen is they're going to hire their people. They're going to hire their people. And so that's why I say I'm of two minds, because that irritates my soul. One, because whoever is applying, you should pick the best candidate, and not because of their race or their gender or anything like that, right? But I can tell you, certain food establishments in Houston it's like once the Spanish people get in there, they just bring everybody in there, and it's like it's very, it's wrong. That being said, most of us would do the same if you're put in that position to where you can uplift your people. And let's be clear, working at a donut shop called Shipley's isn't really uplifting you, but it's better than where you came from. It's better than not having, whatever. And so like the thing that irritates me regarding that is like the Shipley's by my house. Oh my God. The people at the window can't ever it's so many of them that can't speak English. And I'm not knocking them because they can't speak English. I'm simply saying, how can you deliver really good customer service and a good customer experience if you can't understand what the customer is asking for? And they can't understand you. That's my beef with that. And I've seen it happen over and over again. Like my little sis, she used to work at Jack in the Box. So years ago, probably about 6 or 7 years ago, she had applied to this Jack in the Box. And you know how they call you on the phone and they kind of pre-interview or whatever, right? And so my sister speaks Spanish, right? And so when she showed up for the in-person interview, the people were confused. They thought they were like, "Are you sure?" Like, I don't think, because the person that we was interviewing was, speaking Spanish. So they thought that they were getting a Spanish lady, but they weren't, simply because her last name is Spanish because her dad's Colombian. They ended up hiring her, but my point is that's irritating to me sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But the flip side to that is I can't complain because I ain't working at Shipley's. That ain't never gonna be my job. As long as I have breath in my body and my intelligence, I ain't working at Shipley's or any other place like that. No shade to those people. We need those people. I need my donuts. But those type of situations, I could understand how someone may feel like they're taking over. But like I said before, a lot of people they're not willing to do those type of jobs. They think they're above it. So, don't be mad at these people because they're not above it. So anyway, let's see what else does Coach Ferg have to say. He says, shout out to Coach Ferg. He says, I'm former military wartime vet. Okay. Shout out to the military vets. College degree since 2001. DeVry grad 2023. Website design. Okay. I want all my opportunities first before anyone else. I get it. Young Rizza Drip King says, I grew up in a multicultural home, I guess. I have a different perspective. Yeah. I agree. Coach Ferg says, so black people get the qualifications while young. So he's saying, so get your qualifications when you're young. Can't wait until you're 30 to say I want to be a boss. There's truth to that. One of the things I always held on to that I feel like I kind of like realized maybe when I was like in the 7th grade is like, do you want to work hard now or do you want to work hard for the rest of your life? Right. And what I mean by that is, it's like, if you don't go use your opportunities to the best of your abilities to elevate your life, whether that's, going to college, getting a trade, whatever it is, you may not have to work hard now, right? So I don't want to go to college, or I don't want to, invest, whatever it is to get yourself up. You don't want to do that because there's a sacrifice with that. You don't want to work hard now. You just want to go out and party and go to Miami Beach or whatever, right? So then there comes a time when you're a whole ass adult with probably real life responsibilities like a wife or a husband or children or whatever it is, a mortgage, and all you've done is get the jobs that just paid enough for you to make it. And for me, I didn't want that to be my future, working hard for the rest of my life, standing in front of the Walmart as the greeter, undercover cop. But like, I just was like, that isn't what I want for my life, because I'm one of those people, I look at the end at the beginning. So it's sort of like, okay, well, what do I want my end product to be? What do I want the end result to be? Whatever. So for me, it's like, where I want to end up is being able to sit on a beach whenever I want to and not have to wait for somebody to give me 2 weeks off for vacation. You know what I'm saying? So I chose to work hard at the beginning. So now I'm in a position to where I can fly first class to Dubai with my husband. You know what I mean? Or whatever. I can buy what the hell I want in the store. I don't have to choose. Like Cardi B said. Shout out to Cardi B. She said, I can get them both. I don't want to choose. I swear that's how I am in Saks Fifth Avenue. I'm like, I don't want to choose. No, but what Coach Ferg is saying is absolutely true. You're going to have to just make a decision. It's sort of like insurance. A lot of times people, when they have car insurance, because maybe they don't have a lot of money, right, to pay for the car insurance, but they need the car insurance, right? So what they'll say is, I'll have a high deductible. So if something happens to my vehicle, my deductible is like $2,000, just to say hypothetically, right? But they do that so that their monthly premium could be low, maybe like $70 or $100, whatever, something that will fit within their income, right, and budget. But the problem with that is when you get into a car wreck, now how are you going to come up with this $2,000 because you put yourself at this very high level of insurance coverage deductible? So now it's problematic because you're going to pay on one side or the other. So you're either going to pay up front with the premiums that are $200 or $300 a month, or you're going to pay on the back end when you have to use that insurance. And they're saying, give us our, $2,000 before we pay for anything. You don't want to be in that bind. And it's the same exact thing, sort of what Coach Ferg is saying. It's like, make good decisions now, make intelligent decisions now with your future in mind. You know what I'm saying? But like, I wish that we could in this country. One of the things I wish we could do, and honestly, this should happen around the world. I wish in our education system, they taught everybody from like kindergarten all the way up through college about credit and how important it is, about financial literacy and how important it is. You know what I'm saying? And then like, they have these little computer like softwares that can kind of, we used to use this at the Workforce Solutions years ago when I worked there. But basically, you have your client come in and you have them navigate this website. It's like a virtual life that they want for themselves, right? And so in this little software, it'll tell you, okay, well, what kind of job do you want to have, or where you want your income to be, and then what type of house do you want to have, what type of car you want to drive, and on and on and on, right? And so when you start plugging all these things into that system, it comes up with, how much money you need to make and what industry you need to be in to do that. You know what I'm saying? And so it gives you a good wake-up call and realization of, oh shit, these are all of the things that I need to have in place in order for me to live the life that I want. I'm saying I wish that we would do that way earlier. So by the time children, become adults and they get to college, they understand how important it is to have good credit. I didn't know that whenever I was 19 on my own. I didn't know you. I don't know why I thought I could just, go buy furniture. No, you got to finance it, because if you have bad credit, it's going to be difficult for you to finance. And even if you can, it's going to be more expensive with all the interest, right? So, or you got to have the whole amount up front for your furniture, which a lot of people don't. So that's the part of like, you have to go into whatever you're playing with the end in mind. What do I want for myself long-term, or my family, or whatever, And I realize that, let me be clear. Not everybody's going to be able to do something like what I did. And I don't expect people to. Just because I did it, I don't subscribe to I did it, you can do it type of mentality. I do think that people can do things if they put their mind to, but doesn't necessarily mean they could do what I was able to do, right? Like, I'm never going to be Bill Gates. I don't give a shit. So I'm saying that to say, as smart as I am and educated and intelligent, all of those things, I'm not going to be Bill Gates. He's way more cerebral than me. And that's cool. I understand who I am. I know that I have limits. I'm not going to be an astronaut or an accountant, because I'm just like, that shit is so boring. I would jump off. Let me stop. No, but what Coach Ferg is saying, it has some credibility to it. Let's see. I have love for my people, but I am more on a human thing. Yeah, I agree. You've been around many cultures. I think when you travel, that kind of informs you of what's really going on in the world. When we come out of our little bubble that we have bought into in America, and you see how other people live, And you see that a lot of the things that we're taught are just not, they're not true, but it's propaganda. So for example, I'm pretty sure I shared that I've been to Dubai with my husband, right? Love that country. But people in this country have been told that if you go to Dubai, they're gonna chop your hand off if you do this, and you can't, they're very, very strict about their religion, and you can't wear certain clothes and all this kind of stuff. And women are under, a man's thumb and all this kind of stuff, right? And so when you're told this over and over throughout the years, or shown it, or whatever the case may be, you start to believe it. It's sort of like telling someone they're fat all the time. Even if they're not fat, eventually they're going to start believing you. And they're going to think this is what it is. And that's what happens in the media. But anyways, people think that, oh, the women over there are so oppressed. No, their government, it is written into their law that their government has to be half women by law, period. So how can you say that this country is full of all these misogynistic men that want to oppress women and won't allow them to do all these things when they put it in their own legislation that says you have to have half of the Congress, or whatever they call it, parliament, I don't know exactly what the word is, but the government, it has to be run by half women. That to me is saying, we want you at the table. We don't want to make decisions about you without you. But if you listen to the propaganda machine here, they'll tell you all kinds of stuff. Oh, you can't wear this and that. Listen, the people in my hotel was walking around in their Chanel bikinis. Be very clear. And you can wear what you want, but you just have to have some level of respect for these people, country, and their culture. And that you can't just come in there and do what the hell you want. Period. But that being said, when we went to the mosque, we were clothed from head to toe because we're in these people's religious temple. So I'm going to respect your temple just like I would want you to respect mine here in America. But you can't believe everything you see on the internet or what you read in a book, unfortunately, because people lie or insinuate or put enough information out there for you to make your own conclusion, but they're leading you to that conclusion anyway. It's called like a leading question type thing. So anyways, I don't think immigration or things associated with that is ever going to be fixed in the world. And the reason I say that is because our society loves to put people in categories so that they can separate us and make us think something else about other people. It just is what it is. It happens all the time, right? So people have fear of what they don't know. And sometimes if you say something enough, people start to believe it. So if you're saying that this country over here oppresses women, or this country over here is so violent and, has lots of drugs and this, that, and the third, violent criminals, eventually you're going to start believing it, even if it ain't true. And be clear, people will believe a lie way before they believe the truth. I'm just saying it's the facts. But anyway, I done been on this live talking to y'all. This live wasn't even about politics or anything like that. This live was about me making seafood pot pie that I'm about to go eat now. Okay, about to get into it. I know it's going to be so good. But anyways, guys, please hit that like button. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Chanel's Reality. I'm Chanel, and this is my reality. Let's see, do I know how to make the heart? Let's see. Heart. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and hit the notification button. It's a free and easy way to support my channel. Thank you so much, guys. For everyone that's new, welcome to my channel. And then everyone who's returning, much love to you guys. Thank you for supporting me. Y'all have a good rest of your day. Bye. About to go eat this pot pie, honey. Yes, it's going down. Meet me at the trap.